Yo, guess what came in the mail? For hitting 37 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I've been to a lot of places, and some of them were wild. I lived in Hawaii as a wee lad, and I really hope I can summarize that juicy goodness in this video. Disclaimer, these were from memory, so some stuff can and will be off. It all started back in the day when I was able to ride my dog. We arrived in Maui after a really long plane flight. I almost remember entering the house, smelling the new smells, and getting my room sent up. But only the dumb memories stuck in my head. Let's talk about the surroundings. There was this broken down construction place with one of those huge scooper machines, purple tiny bananas in the corner, and a cliff with a spindly fence to keep us from falling off. I remember I was climbing one of the trees and I saw a chameleon. Me and Juan climbed on the tree and chased a very slow chameleon to the end of the branch. We called our mom over to look at the spectacle, and she wasn't impressed. It might have fallen off, might not, I don't know. I also tried sleeping on one of those giant Hawaiian leaves, but I fell off because, surprise, couldn't hold my weight. School in Hawaii is a magical place with a giant tree in the middle. The ground was covered in cockroaches and lizards waiting to get in my grasp. Remember, this was back in the day, back in kindergarten, so you can't get mad at me when I tell you that I used to throw cockroaches at girls. Don't worry, I'm way more smooth with them now. Anyways, I was a maniac in kindergarten. I remember blocking myself off with the rest of the class and throwing pencils at them. Also, not to brag, but I was the only person in the room that wasn't shocked to find out that the teacher didn't live in the school. I just wasn't one of those kids. Also, I had some weird classmates. Here's a conversation I remember having. Yo, can I have some of your yogurt? No, it's my food. Eat yours. But, I can't have yogurt at home. No. Can you go tell the teacher something? Then I walked up to the teacher, full confidence, and without turning around, I told her, Henry's eating my yogurt. And I turned around, there he was, eating my yogurt. And that was my yogurt. I still have yogurt withdrawals to this day. There were a few weird interactions with people back in kindergarten. I think Henry was my friend because I remember going on one of those horse spring thingies and just spitting on the ground. A teacher walked up and asked, do you know what spit is called when it's in your mouth? I thought it was just called spit, but she was like, it's called saliva, and that's gross. Stop spitting on the ground. This is also the Henry that pooped his shorts. There was also this kid named Finn. We were playing on the playground once, and since Hawaiian schools are like all outside, I led him to the nearest bathroom, but Finn couldn't make it. He wet his pants right away as he opened the stall door, and he just kept going. Like, what are you supposed to do anyway? Try to get the rest of it in the toilet? He just stood there, staring at me, peeing his pants, on the verge of tears. I tried to lighten the mood by going, Happy Pee Day! And he loved it so much, I bet he still tells stories about it at home. I was a mischievous child. I would sleep when I knew I wasn't signed up for nap time. I would punch raindrops, essentially hurting them, according to the teacher, and I would throw moss in the streets. I've also stolen a painting from another girl, but I returned it at the end of the year. All sins forgiven, right? I really wish I could go back to all the kids I met and apologize. I'm so much different than I was in kindergarten. I wouldn't have imagined how big my YouTube channel has become because I didn't even know what YouTube was. I didn't even have internet back then. The library was the only place in Hawaii that had internet, and I wanted to go there to catch an internet in a plastic bag. The only game I had on there, my iPad, was a Subway Surfer ripoff. That's it. If you think that Hawaii looks like one of those Mario Forest levels, you'd be right. It looks like that, but a little brighter. The leaves are ginormous, the bugs are ginormous, and the theme song for Mario would fit so perfectly in Hawaii. The rainbows were crazy, and the worst rain we got was called pineapple rain, which is just a light sprinkle. There was quite a bit of tiki-taka type stuff there, and I remember a few Hawaiian words. Uku, which is head lice, kakui, which is a type of nut, and finally aloha, which can make you the perfect floor mat, as it means hello, goodbye, thank you, and love. If you find a floor mat in Hawaii that doesn't say aloha, I'll be impressed. Hawaii consists of only 13 different letters. If I said my name in Hawaiian, it would be A'ao. Living in Hawaii meant that you were always 30 minutes or less from the beach and you were always seeing rainbows. Some rainbows were so prominent you can't see past them. I was at the beach once and I swear my pinky toe got pinched by a crab. At this point in life, this was the worst pain I've ever been in. I tried telling my parents, but they didn't believe me. Moana represents Hawaii pretty well. First of all, Moana is a Hawaiian name. A very Hawaiian name. A lot of scenes look pretty familiar to the actual Hawaiian beaches. When I first saw Moana, I was in a trance. It was my first movie theater that I remember, and it was ahead of its time. I'm kind of embarrassed by this, but we sang a lot of Moana songs when we saw the movie.
What? Do a song. So I've always been this crab. I was trouble to crab once. You can't be happy as a crab because I'm beautiful, baby.
We took swimming lessons as, Hawaii is 99% water, and I was such a bad swimmer in the finals, I did a wrong stroke or something, and I got DQ'd. My parents convinced me that being DQ'd means you get Dairy Queen, but they never actually gave me Dairy Queen because there wasn't any Dairy Queen in Hawaii at the time. I also remember getting an 8th place ribbon in the contest with 8 people, but we didn't know that we were the last, and we didn't care either. Let me tell you about Christmas. In Hawaii, Santa doesn't arrive on a sleigh, he arrives on a boat thingy. Christmas in Hawaii is super rainy and a little sad. But my grandma gave me this blanket with Star Wars characters, and I still have Star Wars blankie to this day. I also got a conch shell in Hawaii, and I still know how to blow it. That's Hawaii in a nutshell.